and go to Blackboard. All right. So basically, when you log into your course, let me get out of here. You would go to your courses and select your course. I'm going to stick to this departmental course down here. And so one of the important things is to make sure that you identify where you want your student to first log in when they get into Blackboard. If I was starting this for the first time for my class, I am going to add a content page here, and I'm going to call it getting started on Blackboard. So what I'm thinking is the students are coming back from spring break. Everybody doesn't know what's going on, or they do know what's going on, but we all have stresses because it's something new. And so I'm going to put this getting started all the way on the top after my professor contact. And then in here, I'm just going to add a blank page that says, welcome back, students. And you can give them a message, you know, things have changed for us this semester. We will no longer meet face to face. However, together we will accomplish our goals that we set at the beginning of the semester. To get started, click on the lecture notes tab, and then say something like each week you will see the sections that we will be covering, etc. So you can write it as you can put it here, or you can just send it through an email. I'm probably just gonna send it through an email. It's a lot quicker than them clicking on this. And let me go to, and so this is what they would see. So to do this again, what I did is I made a new tab, and in here I went ahead and added just a blank page. And you could actually put some images in there, so maybe we can find something funny for them, or I don't know. Anyway, so you can adjust it however you need to, but just have something, an email that goes to them explaining what's about to happen, or you can simply do a page where they can just click on it and see the message that you have for them. So anyway, after the students see this, they can go to lecture notes to get started. And this is what I'm calling a learning path. Basically, it's trying to keep the students organized so that they know what to do throughout the semester. So I know that we're not in week 1 anymore. So we would start in week 9. If you want to have these weeks up here so that your students aren't confused, you can simply hide it or delete it. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And then it will go away. Or you can just rename it. And call this week 9. And so again, to add these folders, the way you would do this First, let me go ahead and rename this back to week 2. So what you would do is you would click on build content, click on content folder, and I'm going to call this week 1. And I want to see how many people open this, so I'm going to track it, and then I'm going to press submit. So you don't see my week 1 folder, and that's because I just added it, so it's going to be at the very bottom. So you can drag it up. Now, you might want to keep the week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and you can put things in there for them to review for their final exam, for example, or you can just start with week 9. Okay, so once a student clicks on the first folder, week 1, then we still want to organize this a little bit. You can start putting PowerPoints and everything here, but for me, for my classes, I always find it best if I actually create another content folder, and this time I'm going to break it down into a section. And so I'm going to put here, I want to track it, submit. So here's my section folder. So when the students click on section folder, then we can add stuff here. Let me show you one of my actual classes. And then we'll go back to the fake class over there. So if you notice here, if I go to lecture notes, if I click on chapter 1, section 1.1, then we have, so actually for myself, what I did is I put these as chapters. So in the emails and the announcements that I give them, they have the calendar so they know what chapter they're on. And so if you click chapter 1, all the sections for chapter 1 are listed. And if I click section 1.1, then I put here the student guided notes. They can open this. And then the student can print it. And then the PowerPoint. So there's not a lot of info here for the students, and that's because I put it in a different place. So for example, on the left side here, you can see under Professor Contact, I actually put a picture of myself. So that's when I was like 15, just playing. And I gave a little information about myself and about where I live and where I went to school. I have my syllabi. The first day instructions is where I give them instructions on what to do. So these handouts just tell them what they need to do. Remind is a communication app. They can send me text messages. And then I have a video that explains how to use WebAssign and how the class is basically going to be. Okay, so I organized myself by chapters. But for my lecture class, that was actually for my online class, but for my lecture class, I'm going to go ahead and set it up as a week to week, as I'm showing you in this course. And only because my students are used to seeing me weekly, twice a week. So I want to make sure that they kind of stay with that consistency. So if I click on section 1.1, I want to be able to provide them, some guidance on what to do. So the first thing I would do is I would go ahead and build an item or a file. I explain what the difference is between an item and a file. So I think currently in my classes, we left off on section 2.6. Yeah, we were behind, so imagine I'm more behind now. So this section 2.6, student notes, that's what I call them. And that's what the students know them as. So I'm going to make this blue. And then here I'm going to say in your student notes, or say take notes. Sorry. watch the videos below and take notes in your notebook. All my students bought the notebook, so they have access to those files. But if they don't, they can always print it because I'm going to upload it here. So we go find it. And I want to track this and submit. So now the students have the notes here. If you have a PowerPoint, you can add it. I'm going to use a file for that so you can see the difference. So I'm going to say section 2.6 PowerPoint. Browse the computer. So let me go back. I'm just going to pick whichever PowerPoint just to show you. And I'm going to make the PowerPoints green. And same thing, I want to be able to track this. Submit. Okay, that color is really ugly, so maybe I'll just change it to something else that's not as bright. Or you can just leave them all the same color. And then I want to be able to add a video. So one, you can create a video yourself and put it in there. So what I'm going to do is for these sections, I'm going to create videos for these sections. And then I'm going to have a live session that students can log in and ask me any questions for that week. So once a week, I'll have a live session for the students where I'm going to cover a section and then I'm going to answer some other questions. And so to do this, I find it best if I want to record a video that students are not in there with me as a live session like we are right now, then I'm going to go ahead and build something called using Screencast-O-Matic. I'm going to say section 2.6 video. And I'm press submit. So when I do this, it only creates like a tab here. If I click on it, then I can, this screen will not appear here if it's the first time that you're logging in. But once you log in for the very first time, even if you shut your computer down, when you click on it again, it's always going to just appear ready for you to record. So I press record, open the screen recorder. And now it's ready to record. So before I press record on the screencast, I would actually have my notes open. Already, so that I don't waste time doing this in the video. So I would already have this open. So it's open now. And then I'm ready to press record. And then it's going to count down for you. And so now we're recording. And so here I would probably have this filled in already, these blanks. But then I can go in here, find the domain of each rational function. So then I would say, let me get my pen. So I would say in order to find the domain, you want to factor the numerator. And so let me change the thickness of my pencil to make it easier. So I can write on my screen x minus 5. Actually, we don't have to factor it. We're just looking at the denominator. But for fun, go ahead and factor it. Anyway, so You can write anything you like. You can change the color of your pen. You can use, if you rather use your screen, let me go here. Let's say I want to insert an equation. I can just do the Alt plus, and you can just start typing away, and so on. Okay. And so everything that I'm doing on the screen, the students would be able to see. I can go to a website. Usually I'll visit decimals.com and start graphing, and so on. So once I'm done with my video, the other thing about videos is you probably don't want to make them too long. So like these examples that I've been giving you are too long. The video should only be between 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So if I have to break up my section into two pieces, I would rather do that than stay online for an hour to do that whole lesson. So I'd like to break it up into chunks rather than just 45 minutes. Whenever I log in with my students for a live session, then that's okay because we are actually communicating with each other. And so we're actively engaged. And so that's okay if it's a longer session. So let me turn off video so you can see what happens next. And so let me go back. Now I'm trying to look for my, did I press stop already? I don't see it. Okay, maybe I stopped it accidentally. Let me check again. It's already open, okay. I don't see it. Let me close these guys down. I'm trying to remove this. I don't see my little recorder. Let me see. There it is. I pressed this before and I didn't see it. Okay, so here I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm done. And then to upload to Blackboard, you would just press save and upload. You can title this and say upload. And you'll see that it uploads pretty quickly. So I believe it's still uploading. So once it's published, it's going to give you a screen and you're going to need to say embed. And let me close some of these websites down. So my internet has been a little slow today. In the meantime, while this thing uploads, is there any questions? So again, the screencast, it's really good to just make a video with no students in there. If you want to have students, then I would recommend Blackboard Ultra, what I'm using right now, or I would recommend Zoom. So here it's ready, so we just say continue. And let me get out of here. Did somebody have a question?
Yes, I do. So
Okay.
I'm looking at the pricing on the screencast, and I know a lot of the good stuff is for free, but you mentioned in the other session that you did pay. Which one
Yes.
did you get? The deluxe or the premiere?
It was the one that has like, it was like $30-something for 3 years.
$30-something for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if which one it was. If it was
I think that's the deluxe.
the deluxe.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to know like, if there was a big difference between those two. It
I
didn't
think
look like it. I know you've been using it for a while.
yeah, one of the differences was the timing of the videos and the space of where you can put them. Because when I started, like I wasn't really sure where I could place these videos.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I wasn't using YouTube or I wasn't putting them on Blackboard. So I wanted space within the screencast. And so they gave me space in there.
But now that you know where to put the videos, you don't need that space anymore?
No, I would have to, no, because I'm putting them, like I can just put them here on Blackboard or I can put them directly into YouTube.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Thank you.
So if you notice here, like you might be looking for the video, but if you click on it, you're not quite, you have to, it's right here, the one that I just recorded. So if you click on it and then you just say embed, and then it's ready to go. So what your students are going to see is the following. So let me get out of here. So when they click on it now, let me go as a student. Okay, they can click on the video and we'll press play and it's in there. After the video, what you can do is say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to insert another item. I'm going to do an image and I want them to answer the following. Let's call it, I guess, a graph, since that's the only images I have right now on my computer. And I'm going to go to pictures and I can say this one. You can add a description if you like. Press submit. And so they have the notes, they have the PowerPoint, they have the video. And then you can add a graph or anything like maybe you wanted to add a handout, like a Word document. Based on the video you just saw, answer the following questions. What is the domain of this rational function? And then you can have them here. Let's do that really quick. File. You can say based on the video, answer the following questions. And then you can say number one, what is the domain of the rational function? What is the vertical and horizontal asymptote? And you can add the equation. I forgot what I had. I think it was x squared minus 25 divided by x minus 5. And so let me just save it really quick. Email your document in the course messages. That's if you still want them to do some writing. So you can say save as. And let's just leave it like that. Go back to Blackboard. And so let me add it in here. I say a file. Section 2.6. Write up homework or something. I don't know. You can be creative. And the only reason I said write up is because I do give them homework that's on the computer as well, which I'll show you right now. And submit. And I actually want this one higher. You can make that graph smaller, by the way. And so I guess I went too high. To make this graph smaller or to make your image smaller, you just press edit. And you'll see the dimensions here. You press custom and you make this 500 and submit. So now it's a little bit smaller. I know this graph has nothing to do with section 2.6, but I just wanted to show you an image of something you can add. And then finally, after the students, if you in your email tell them this is the steps you're going to take for each section, you're going to watch the PowerPoint and video, or maybe you're interested in, besides your video, maybe you want to provide extra videos for help. So you can say, let me build a content folder and just say additional videos. And these videos can be videos that you get from everywhere. So for example, let me see. If I click here, I'm going to bring a video from YouTube. The YouTube link is not working right now. They're fixing it. IT's fixing it. So you're going to get this message, but that's okay. You can just go to YouTube. And then we can say domain of rational functions. Pick one. Just make sure that the videos you're picking, you kind of look at them because some videos might be kind of weird. I'm just going to pick one at random right now. So what you want to do is grab the link. I'm going to share, copy the link, and then go back to the content. Oops, I went way too far. So I'm going to go down here, click on this. I'm going to add a web link. And like you can call it YouTube video, or you can just say finding the domain video. Let's put your URL in there. You can track it. And so now the student has that, or maybe you use MyMathLab, or you use WebAssign. So let me go to WebAssign. You can grab one of their videos very easily. You press login. So in WebAssign, and Lorena, and oh, I'll tell you later. But in WebAssign, what you can do is your videos and stuff are under resources. And so you're gonna find videos, they're all located here. So let's say we're on chapter 2. So I'm in the wrong class. Let me go to 13-14 class. So right here. So we'll go to resources, and we're in 2.6. So I'm going to grab this video, and more specifically, I want this one. So I'm going to press play. I'm just going to take the link. So the link up here, just grab that. Go back to your content page, and I'm going to add a web link. I'm going to say, again, this is another one, domain. Number 2. And these are just additional videos, or you can use them as your main video. So it depends what the students want. I put them as additional videos because I don't want to overwhelm them with too many videos. But the way the students are going to see it is if they click here, that just takes them to YouTube. And if you want, you could even put hyphen YouTube. That way the student knows if they love YouTube, they can just go to YouTube. And here you can put hyphen MyMathLab, and they're familiar. Oh, this is coming from MyMathLab where I do my homework. So if I click this, it'll take you right to it. And now let me go back to edit. So you can add any videos there. So far we have the notes, the PowerPoint, a video that you created, that, or you can put a video that you really want them to watch. So from all your favorite videos, you would pick the one that you want them to watch. If you want to have paper homework, you can add it here, give them instructions, submit through course messages. So you would add, you would need to use an item instead of a file. I use a file here. And then you have additional videos / resources. And then finally, you can have them go to do their homework. So I'm going to put here a web link, and I'm going to say section 2.6 homework. And they're going to get it from WebAssign. And so at this point, the student knows that when they click, okay, let me see what, oh, good thing that this happened. All your websites have to start with HTTP and then the 2 forward slashes, or else it's not going to work. So let's see how the whole path looks now. So if I'm a student, I'm logging into my course for the first time. I get this nice little message, maybe on the announcements. That's where you can put it to get started. Go to lecture notes, right? And I go to the lecture notes. Okay, my teacher just said to go to week 1, but you can say week 9. I click on the section, watch the videos below and take notes. So, okay, I'm gonna click on this if I don't have it, but my students do have the document, and you don't have to have a note thing for them. This is just something that I already have. Then they have the PowerPoint, they can watch the video, they can do this and submit it. What I would do is I would just grade it with my little pencil, computer pencil, and just send it back to them. And then put the grade in WebAssign. And then I have additional videos. If I click here, then it just takes me straight to WebAssign. They're still going to have to log in. There is a way for you to synchronize the WebAssign with the Blackboard, or MyMathLab with the Blackboard. But the WebAssign with the Blackboard is a little tricky. It creates another account for you. So I just thought the easiest thing for now, since we're in this situation, is just to show you like a very basic link to get out. In the future, then we can discuss the other methods. So that's basically what I mean by a path. All of this here you can really do easily in MyMathLab. You can create a path like this for them. On WebAssign, it's a little bit harder. Let me show you my class. So on WebAssign here, what the student sees is basically all the assignments that they have. So from the syllabus homework all the way down, they have a quiz in between. They have a practice lockdown browser. I recommend that you create a practice lockdown browser so that the students can check to see if they need to download it. So if I press view, for example, and I want to start this, well, let me click on this one. Notice that preview assignment. Oh, I have to go as a student. Hold on. Let me go to student. So this is what the student is going to see. So they can see all their assignments are here. So let me go to the past assignments as well. So when the class started, I had due dates every week, but then some stuff happened and I got rid of the due dates. So this is a bad student. They haven't done anything. That's me. So let me find the lockdown browser. So here's the lockdown browser. If I click on it, this is just a practice one. It says assignment cannot be loaded. The assignment requires the lockdown browser. And so if they don't have it, then at least that gives them a chance to download it before they start the actual test. So I have, for my students, I tell them that they need to do that assignment before they attempt the test. And what I do is I provide over here on the left side, right side, I have all these announcements. These are all just different questions. The hardest questions that I think the students will have. And basically, I just create a document with step-by-step worked out examples. And again, this can be done on MyMathLab. You can easily put these files on Blackboard. So I just give them everything for that section. Let me show you another one. And so I just walk through it step by step. In some instances, I'll share like a video that they can look at. But I wanted to, I guess I don't have it on this one, but I have a document that shows them how to download step by step the how to download the lockdown browser. Let me see if I have it in my other class. Well, either way, if you want that document, if you are teaching WebAssign, if you want that document, I can share it with you. Let me see if it's on the other class at least. It's probably not going to be in my other class because all of them get the same announcements. Yeah, I don't see it. So this was here my explanation telling them that I'm moving the deadlines. I normally don't leave the deadlines until the last week, but this semester, whatever happened, and then I send them weekly updates so they can see where they should be. So the WebAssign and MyMathLab, you can create stuff for them, but WebAssign doesn't really lends itself to having a path for the students. I'm trying to go back to it. All they see here is homeworks. And so my WebAssign students know in Blackboard, this is where they have their materials if they want it. Of course, in WebAssign, the assignments actually have the PowerPoint and the handout there as well. So under the instructions, print the handout, the PowerPoint, and then they can do the question. Okay, so back to the Blackboard. I believe this was what this video was about, is just to create some type of learning path, something that your students can have a sense of direction. We don't want to just say, here's your MyMathLab course and then figure it out yourself, but to try to support, they often hear from us in our lectures, and so we want to be able to, make them feel comfortable that we're still there, and even though we're not there face to face. Is there any questions? Anybody have a question? No? Okay, let me see. I think this session is probably almost over. So let me go check. Oh, I was gonna share something. Let's say you created this Blackboard session, right? And you want your other students to view it. You can get the link by clicking the three dots here. I'm gonna copy the link. And then what you can do, because I made it in this class and my other three classes they don't see it, I can then go ahead and add it just like a regular link in here. So I'm gonna say add a web link and my video, and then submit. And so now the video will be here. And so it's gonna load the video, the Blackboard video. So earlier in another session, I had mentioned if you have 3 of the same courses, then you can just record one and then share the link with the other classes through email. But you could actually just take the link and make it part of their learning path here. I was gonna check the session if it was almost over. Yeah, so we have a few minutes. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, then I guess that'll be it. Tomorrow I'll go into more detail with MyMathLab and WebAssign. And then the other days I'm gonna have open office hours here. And I'm gonna go ahead and create a few more, some at night after 5 p.m. and some office hours later in the week. I'm just I need to wait to see my schedule with the kids to make sure that I'm not on the computer when I'm babysitting, because then that's not a good idea. Anyways, any questions? No? Okay. All right, I guess that's it for this video. So thank you for joining me. And I'm gonna stop recording now, but you can still ask me questions.